Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3 as Disney accidentally seemingly had spoiled the return of a major character. We're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we're going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there, as well as a read. A Disney social media post has spoiled the return of a Star Wars Disney Plus character in The Mandalorian Season 3, that there being the one and only Boba Fett. The Mandalorian's second season was a cameo fest of the Star Wars fans had never seen, courtesy of the live-action debuts of Bo-Katan Kryze and Ahsoka Tano, as well as the return of the original trilogy characters like Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker as well. And now heading into Season 3, fans are wondering if they would or expect the same kind of treatment here with the third season of The Mandalorian. And nowadays, away from the season premiere, a cameo turned title character is now confirmed to return at this point for the third season of The Mandalorian. However, I would also like to say that this was kind of something that we were going to, at least I was highly anticipating to see the return of Boba Fett for the third season of The Mandalorian. It simply makes sense. I have already actually talked about this previously before on the channel, as we have seen in not only just The Mandalorian Season 3 official trailer, but in plenty of other clips for the third season, how we have Pelimoto appearing in those clips and in the trailer. And seeing that we've only seen her on the planet of Tatooine, and that's also where Boba Fett resides, as that's where we last saw him previously in the book of Boba Fett, it would make sense that he would also probably be there visiting around with Boba Fett. However, as the article goes on to continue to say that, as expected, the book of Boba Fett's titular character is confirmed to return in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, as it had came from a social media post officially coming from Disney themselves. Star Wars' official Hong Kong Facebook account spoiled the bounty hunter's role in a post that reads as follows, saying that Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3 characters revisited, saying that the original team is back in a big way. Mandalorian # Din Djarin and Baby Yoda Grogu are about to unveil a new adventure. Add the amazing bounty hunter # Boba Fett with the other old allies and new enemies. This is the way. Boba Fett's presence was also teased in Season 1 of The Mandalorian, but his first fully fledged appearance didn't occur until Season 2's Chapter 14, The Tragedy. Fett made additional appearances throughout the rest of that season before starring in his own spin-off for Disney Plus, The Book of Boba Fett, which also featured Mando and Grogu in select episodes. My honest viewpoint, however, as a Star Wars fan of course, as I had mentioned earlier on in this video about how there's just plenty of different things that are pointing towards an appearance of Boba Fett. He just really isn't in all the marketing or anything like that, which I do find a little bit odd, but yes, please do save it for the actual show itself. I think I would prefer that there a whole lot more compared to having him appear in the marketing and everything like that. It makes sense because that's what they did with Luke Skywalker in the Book of Boba Fett. They never showed him or anything like that. However, there's very heavy hints and teases seeing that we could possibly have the potential to have Luke Skywalker return for The Mandalorian Season 3. However, I want to save that for a separate future video. However, it has the ideals with how we did see more Order 66 flashback scenes in the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer, and that's how we kind of saw them in the Book of Boba Fett show, is that Luke Skywalker essentially tapped into Grogu's mind using the Force, enabling him to remember those scenes, essentially, those memories from his past there and the events of Order 66, essentially. So whether or not Luke Skywalker does that once again in the third season of The Mandalorian, or if Grogu just simply remembers it on his own, or maybe even another Force user like Cal Kestis, Ezra Bridger, or maybe even Ahsoka Tano are able to do this for him this time, is kind of something that's up in the air. However, I digress. That's something I would like to dive deeper on into in a separate future video here on the channel. Into the regards of Boba Fett's role in The Mandalorian's third season isn't really all that much of a huge surprise, as I had previously mentioned. Given his participation in the show's second season, followed by Mando's role in his own solo series, it's only natural that the trend would continue in Season 3. And as I had wanted to mention, essentially, before I kind of spiraled off onto talking about Luke Skywalker and Order 66 flashback scenes and everything like that, I think that it's only fair, it is simply only natural to give Boba Fett some time to shine here in The Mandalorian Season 3. I'm not saying dedicate multiple episodes just to his character purely, however, definitely give him some time to shine and really do some things, because we messed up, I think there, missed up, I think is the term I'm looking for, there, essentially with his own show, as 2 of those episodes were essentially kind of stolen from The Mandalorian, which isn't necessarily bad or anything like that. However, it does take away from the show's main character, Boba Fett. The article also explains that Plus, in a recent cover of Empire magazine, had already teased Boba Fett's presence in the upcoming season, even though Disney has yet to make it really all that much official. And trailers have shown Mando Starfighter on Tatooine, which also happens to be Boba's territory. What fans don't know, however, is that Boba will be utilized in Mando's third season story. It's something that we just really don't know anything. Unlike the other Mandalorians, Boba has lived a solitary life before becoming a new local crime lord on Tatooine. Just how his new role and responsibilities will connect with Mando's quest, as well as the drama of the Darksaber and Mandalore and everything like that, is something that seems to be remained to be seen here for the third season of The Mandalorian, which, as I had mentioned, I really do like that whole aspect of that whole idea, is that they don't show this character, or really any other characters, in any of the marketing and promotional material for the third season of The Mandalorian, and much rather would save that for the actual show itself. You take a look back at the Book of Boba Fett, as I had mentioned, Luke Skywalker honestly plays a very prominent and heavy role in that show. However, yet he doesn't show up anywhere in the promoting or marketing or anything like that. And same thing can be said for Ahsoka Tano. Something else that seems to be very interesting to be seen here with the third season of The Mandalorian going forward here, aside from seeing what on Earth they decide to do with Cara Dune and her character after the firing of Gina Carano, which is something I'm very interested into seeing here finally after waiting like 3+ years at this point here, is also how Boba Fett will kind of be represented here and depicted in The Mandalorian, following many different complaints of how non-threatening he appeared and felt in his own series. So even though the character's involvement was quite expected, as I had mentioned, there is still plenty of mystery concerning his role, and whether or not and how The Mandalorian Season 3 will lay the groundwork for his own second season of the Book of Boba Fett, which is something I honestly am highly anticipating, something I would really like to see. However, if for anything, I think that the third season of The Mandalorian will do a large work with setting things up for the Ahsoka show that is going to be the next biggest live-action Star Wars show coming out later this year after The Mandalorian Season 3. And with that, as we all know and love, Season 3 of The Mandalorian will begin shortly on Disney Plus, March 1st, Wednesday. From there, that is where the article concludes, and as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have this article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Of course, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What are you looking forward to seeing most with The Mandalorian Season 3, and especially with Boba Fett and his whole regards into what kind of role you want to see him playing here in The Mandalorian Season 3, the overall Mandoverse going forward here as well? Do you want to see him play any type of role in the Ahsoka show? I think is something that is kind of thrown out there. We saw Ahsoka play a role in his show, which was very interesting. However, to see him playing a role in the Ahsoka show, I think is another thing, and I think the larger, aspect to that is how would Boba Fett and Ahsoka really interact, I think is another question that remains to be a whole nother mystery. Anyway, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. This has been Unofficial Star Wars. Peace out.